stopped, but there's I moved the wrong button and I turned on a timer. So here we go, a couple of pieces of strawberry extra. And right as I do this, there is a Tesco's van driving up. It's near enough silent, we can move on. So, Cyberpunk2077. I'm going to start off by saying, I'm going to include stuff from the 2.0 update as part of this. I'm not breaking it down or having any major conversation about it. What I am here to do is just talk about my feelings towards everything new that's come out. So let's start off by saying it's no news to anyone that the original release of Cyberpunk 2077 was a bit of a shit show. No offence, but it was. There was just missing stuff. The game felt a bit empty. I'm getting another piece already, damn. I always do this. Should always just start off with 3. But, back to the point. Oh, it is potent. It came out, just a bit of a shell, really. Years later, other updates have improved it, but the 2.0 update really made the game a completely different thing. And honestly, it's changed it so much for the better, I would say. So I'm going to include all that together in my little thoughts video thing. Okay, my laptop fan is working overtime. So let's have a little chat about it. So I really like Cyberpunk. I like the setting. In fact, give me a second. I have the Cyberpunk Red. Oh, apologies for the creaking. Cyberpunk Red TTRPG book. I'm not gonna lean back in case it creaks again. It's a good RPG, and the video game's pretty good. And it was when it released. It was decent, you know, but it felt very half-assed. I played it through on PC, basically to the end. Well, actually, that's not true. I played originally I had it on PS4, and it was just awful. It was unplayable. I had so many bugs, it was disgusting. So I got it refunded and then bought it on Steam, and it was so much better. I played it to my heart's content, got right up to the end. I never did the final mission, mainly because I don't like to do final missions until I've 100%ed a game. So I got up there, never finished it, because I needed space. And that was that really. I think I downloaded it again once and started replaying it, but I never finished it. Then over the years stuff has come out. Then I realised, after I got my PlayStation 5, I never actually refunded Cyberpunk. It was just a dream. And so I got the free update to the PS5 version, downloaded that a couple of months ago, so I played through it and just been really enjoying it again, playing a different playthrough. And yeah, I specifically did so because I knew that they were coming out with Phantom Liberty. You'll notice how I almost slipped up there and called it something else, and I'm gonna come to that in a second. But started playing it again so I could be ready to play the update and the expansion. And finally, lo and behold, it came out just over a week ago. So how did I find it? I think it's great. Before I get into the actual details, I want to preface by saying that up That's just what I thought it was. I can't tell you why that was. But Phantom Liberty is the name of the expansion, and it's sort of posited as a spy thriller. And at first, I don't think it really seems like it. There's a couple of missions near the end that really start to feel like spy thriller stuff. I'm so glad that I bought the expansion. The update was free, but the expansion is obviously paid. And I'm really, really sad that it's the last thing that's going to be for that game. Kind of understand why, but honestly, this is the way they should have made the game from the get-go. So the update completely changed how Cyberware works. It changed the armour, which has been going through shifting changes since launch, where they tied it to armour and mods on armour and stuff, and they scrapped that because people just wanted to. It was just unnecessary, you know. So they got rid of that and started tying it back to Cyberware, and I think that was a good idea. It makes clothing kind of redundant again, but honestly, there was not much you could really do about that in a game that's first person. I thought they might introduce a third person mode, because you can do it in the car, but you can't do it in person. I mean, I'm not too upset about that. It's a shame. Games like the Elder Scrolls series really benefit from it, because I love snapping in and out, you know. But you can't complain. But it would have been nice. But that aside, it's still fantastic. You've got armed combat in cars now. There's chases, the police system. Oh my god, it is so much better. I haven't used it quite so much. I don't really get into trouble with the police. So, hopefully, that won't be an issue in the rest of my playthrough. But it's a really nice updated system. I really, really like going back to actually the new expansion. Here is another car. Going back to the expansion, the story is really good. So it has Idris Elba coming in and playing Reed, a take no shit spy. The whole premise is that you're there to help rescue the president of the NUS, New United States, I think it stands for. But I don't think that's a spoiler. I was just thinking if that was a spoiler, that's why I paused there. It's not really, because you find out it's literally the premise of it. Either way, you find yourself embroiled in some stuff going on, and if you make the wrong dialogue options, you'll get cut out of the DLC. You would know though, because it's literally, I don't want any part of this anymore. And then it gives you an option to be like, are you sure? So it is a choice, but you should stick with the story because it's great. As I said, it posits itself as a spy thriller, and early on it doesn't really feel that way, but then it does. It feels like watching like Mission Impossible, an action spy film. There's some great set pieces, the characters are fantastic, and the missions are fun. The biggest improvement, I think, are the gigs. So in the base game, gigs, you had main story quests, you had side jobs, and then you had gigs. The side jobs were mostly like kind of original story elements. That might be investigate a building or this, that and the other. But the gigs were really like the just go here and steal this or go here and kill this person. It was very service value, and you literally would just show up, you'd get a call and just do still have to arrive at a location, but there are new gigs where you go in and you meet people, they'll tell you about the job, you'll get information about it, and it feels a bit more in-depth. Now, I like sometimes a couple of missions that aren't time investment. Sometimes I've got like an hour to play the game, I just want to feel like I've done a lot. So those kind of quick missions are fine, but there were a lot of them, and it was just kind of mindless. Like, you stop giving a shit after a while, you stop caring about what the quest is that you're doing. You're just like, oh, I just got to kill this person, whatever. But these gigs, there's less of them, but they make you more invested. And I wish the base game had been more like that. More like showing up, having a conversation with an NPC. Like, for example, I'll give an example of one that I played today. This is a base game quest, and this is how I would improve it. So there's one where you show up at an apartment building, security on the ground floor, and you've got to sneak up and get into a room and neutralise someone. Now, how that works is you just show up and you go up an elevator and get in. If this was a new gig, it would kind of be like you would meet another building, or maybe like a van nearby, meeting someone who's part of the gig, and maybe it's a net runner. You've been given this job by the fixer to go and meet this net runner before you go into the building. And you talk with the net runner, and the net runner's like, "Here, jack into the van. I've hacked into the building's blueprints," and it'll like give you an overlay and say, "This is the entrance here. We know that the target is on the 19th floor. You'll need to get through these different floors. Now, there is a back entrance, but it's highly encrypted. There's a lot of security all along the way," and basically it turns into like a small mission that feels like you're actually doing a lot of stuff. It feels like, oh wow, like you've really put effort into this rather than kill that person upstairs, whatever. It feels it's not guided necessarily, but it's very just go and do it. Sorry, that's the opposite of what I'm saying. That's what it originally was, just go and do it, rather than being like, okay, we're bringing you into the narrative of this mission, like, why is this happening? And now, the newer side gigs that have shown up in the recent edition, I remember really vividly, because they are like very much tied to the narrative, I guess, in as much as it's not just a fetch quest, it's not randomly generated. It feels like there's some interesting stuff, and that's not to say in the base game, like, there's not interesting dialogue in that mission. Like, for example, the one I just mentioned, when you get to the top, you can make a deal with this person or kill them. It's not like limited in that regard, but it also doesn't feel like the actual quest has much to it, and that's probably the big improvement I think I found in the game. I love the new perks and stuff like that. I think it feels much more interesting now than it did before. I think it was good that they've untied certain skills from certain abilities. From what I can tell, that's the case. I'd not got into the net running. My original character was a net runner, and I haven't done any of that, so I can't speak to that at the moment. But I can to the net running. What did I no, it's not even late. I don't even know why I'm messing up my words. I can't speak to the net running, but I could speak to it in the past, and I can speak to some of the gunplay. And I really like that. I go tech weapons mostly. I'm a tech and cool person. Other attributes in body and reflexes. So yeah, I think it's really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying playing it. It's only 15 minutes long this else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've got to say about it. Idris Elba is very good. I have to say though, I think you can tell when someone isn't a voice actor. You know, Idris Elba is an exceptional actor in live action, but there's a few moments of delivery where I'm like, you can tell that he doesn't do voice acting. I don't really know how to describe it beyond that. I think it's just kind of, you instinctively can tell. Not that I'm a voice actor. I like to think that I do voice acting, but I wouldn't say that that's me. Yeah, I think maybe what I'll finish it off by saying is that it was. Oh, I know what I'll say before I finish. Is I love the ad where Idris Elba turns around and says the game is fixed, which is such a funny little nod, because obviously I'm about to over-explain the joke. Obviously it's to make a reference of like, you know, the game is fixed, there are no options. Someone else is pulling the strings as a nod to the kind of the spy thriller element. But of course, joking that now the game is finally in a fixed state. Is it perfect? I wouldn't say so. There's a few weird glitches that I've got, but you know, it's a fun game. It has always been a fun game to play when it works. The PlayStation 4 version was unacceptable, but you know, they've learned, we would hope. But now, finally coming on to what I would say is that it is now a very fun game to play, and if you enjoy playing the video game, you may enjoy playing Cyberpunk Red. And Cyberpunk Red is set in the 2040s, so 30 odd years before the setting of the game, and it's called Cyberpunk Red because it's set in the era of the Red, or the years of the Red. I can't remember what it's called. It might be on here, on the back. The time of the Red. And yeah, this is the rule book. It has everything you need to play the game in here. There might even be a mission in the back actually. I'm not sure. But if you like it, you might like this. It's a lot of fun to play. I've only played a few sessions of it, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. So thank you very much for listening in. I hope you're having a good sleep if you are listening to sleep. Otherwise, I will see you in